with part 3 of our series, Psychedelic Renaissance. But in this story, no one will be ingesting anything. Lisa Ling visited Sedonia Conscious Living Retreat Center, which is in Arizona, to learn about activation breathwork. It's a breathing technique that participants say can lead to a psychedelic healing experience. Lisa Ling joins us now. Good morning.
So in our quest to find healing for the anxiety, depression, and the trauma that seems to be plaguing so many of us, we found an approach that doesn't require you to consume anything at all, but your journey could be as profound. It's something I jumped at the opportunity to try myself. In Sedona, Arizona, surrounded by red rocks many believe have therapeutic powers, and with a group of people who've come from all over the country for a psychedelic healing experience.
What's going to happen today is it depends on your ability to surrender.
The facilitator here looks right at his central casting. Cowboy hat, tattoos, rugged good looks. Oh, and his name is Ocean Eagle. For the next 90 minutes, he's going to guide people on a journey of the mind, using a powerful tool that we all need to survive. Our breath.
You can lay down or sit up.
The goal here, says Ocean, is to tap into, and if necessary, attempt to heal your inner child. For him, that inner child was a little boy named Marty Daniel. Tell me about your background, your upbringing.
I was born to double alcoholic parents. My father was, a very abusive man.
How did you deal with all the trauma that you endured as a kid?
I drank a lot. Ultimately, alcohol was my master.
But despite his addiction, Marty played college baseball on a scholarship and would go on to have a family and a successful real estate business. So you had the life.
But I was miserable on the inside. I've had the $1 million homes. I've had all the cars I've ever wanted. Had it all. And none of it filled that hole inside me.
When did Marty Daniel become Ocean Eagle?
I met a woman that was a shaman that was doing shamanic breath work. So I lay down and I had a spiritual awakening of biblical proportions.
And that's when Ocean Eagle was born. He started training in holotropic breathwork and then developed a method of his own. So activation breathwork is something that you branded.
That's mine.
Your own brand of breathwork.
That's mine.
What is it and how does it work?
Well, what it does is it activates you on a cellular level. So the DMT that's found in ayahuasca, we build that naturally when we breathe that way. Nose, mouth, breathing, circular. When we breathe that way, we balance the CO2 and the O2 levels properly, which creates a moment of homeostasis so that we have a moment to heal.
Ocean claims this form of breathing naturally releases DMT in the brain, allowing people to enter a psychedelic state. DMT is found in some plants and psychedelics and can produce hallucinations.
We were given a soul contract, a mission.
Ocean Eagle's activation breathwork is underway. It starts with words of affirmation.
So how much do you love yourself?
And then the specially curated playlist starts to blare. What is happening to people when they are breathing that deeply and heavily, along with that pulsating music? Where are they going?
They're accessing the deeper wounding that's within them. Some people have, a lot of tears come up, a lot of crying. Some people have a lot of rage and anger come up.
Are people having a psychedelic experience?
When the DMT gets activated, yeah, they can have a total psychedelic natural. But it's something from the inside creating it. I've watched it heal the trauma. They go and they journey and they meet their 7-year-old girl, their 5-year-old boy, and they go back and they bring them back.
Nafshin Luhar came here looking to connect with her little girl. Tell me about what your childhood was like.
So at age 4, I started to go through a lot of molestation. And in the Indian Muslim culture, molestation is not something that is very easily talked about. The repercussions of molestation had very much manifested in my psyche, in my physical body as well. By 6, I was already an obese child.
The scars would last into adulthood and eventually made Nafshin very sick.
Even though I had gone to therapy, I had worked on forgiveness, I had done so many things, it was still, the residue was so deep. I went to the doctor for a regular checkup, and they found that I had uterine cancer.
Nafshin had surgery and went into remission. But it was after a traumatic breakup that she found Ocean Eagle on Facebook and went to an activation breathwork retreat.
Breathwork helped me release 25 years of trauma. I just didn't even know what hit me.
What are you hoping to get out of it this time?
I just want to get rid of all the noise and connect to the little girl who wants to play and create.
So we're 45 minutes into this breathwork session, and it's still as physical and primal as it was when it started, and it just boggles the mind that they haven't ingested anything. After 90 minutes, the music slows, and people start coming back to a space their minds had left. Ocean gathers the group to talk about their journeys.
This is my first breath work ever, so my experience probably may be a little different than the rest of you. I felt like I got deeply connected with myself and reached out to a lot of my family.
This voice was screaming in my head of like, why don't you ever ask for help? Why did you never ask for help? And I was just like sobbing because I realized that I'm the only one that's standing in the way of like my healing.
Ocean, being the most amazing human being in my life who actually connected me to my little girl. That's exactly what I did in my breathwork today. I forgot everything else, and I just found her and pulled her back into me.
Tomorrow is round 2, and someone you know will be giving it a try. I'll be honest, I am a little nervous about this because relinquishing control has always been something challenging for me, but I'm going to do my best to just surrender and see what happens. As soon as the masks go on and the music starts, we're off.
Plays with a bunch of soul contracts you made before you came here.
It started off, and I don't know if it was the music, but it was very pulsating, and I felt very angry about the things that are happening in the world and these wars that men have plunged us into throughout history. My body starts shaking profusely, and the tears flow. Ocean comes to lay hands on me, but I whisper, "Ocean, I need a woman." Jameen, another facilitator, comes, and I feel her energy as though her hands are burning my back. At a certain point, I felt like I was holding the earth, and I was almost like wrapping my mother hands around the earth, because I think it's going to take a mother and this feminine energy, right, to heal this deeply broken earth. And then this woman, and after I took my shades off, she just like wrapped me in this blanket. It was that energy that I needed, that I recognized that I need to bring to the world. So that was my little journey.
Wow. Lisa, thank you. Let me just say thank you.
It's really amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I realize how wild it looked, but it was a very real experience for me. And look, when you are breathing that heavily, it reduces the oxygen to the brain. And some scientists say that's when the pineal gland exerts
third eye.
DMT. That's exactly right. And that is what induces these psychedelic effects and allows you to access that altered state of consciousness. And some would say access trauma as well. And
Wow.
yeah, it was wild, and it was difficult to get into because I knew I was being filmed. I'm in this room where I'm hearing screaming, but again, it was a very real experience for me.
You described it initially as a wild scene. I don't describe it as that. I describe it as intimate. And it's hard to do. You were at work, and that's why I wanted to come out and say thank you, because most people, maybe even us, will say, you know what, I'll pass. I'll watch from the sidelines. What was it like after you got done, you got home, the cameras were off, and you had time to reflect?
It's a great question, Nate. I just felt so much bliss for days after the experience. And as you just heard, everything that's happening in the world has just been weighing so heavily on me and all of us.
Right.
And it was the first time that I felt a sense of hope in a very, very long time about the world.
Yeah. Wow.
Wow.
Quickly, when you were in your body, did something come over you? Did you feel like, you couldn't control your thoughts? What happened inside?
I mean, my body was shaking profusely, and I wasn't trying to control the thoughts. I was just sort of allowing the thoughts and the feelings to just evolve. And it was powerful. It was powerful. And when that woman scooped me up, I mean, I needed that. I needed to be held at that moment. And it was beautiful. And I hope more people are able to experience. And the amazing thing about it is we can do this all on our own.
Yeah, you're right.
So much.
You're right.
Wonderful, wonderful. The three-part series has been terrific.
Thank you,
I'm with
Tony.
Nate. I want a part 4 and a 5 and a 6.
No doubt.
Please
Come join
back
me next
soon.
time.
Thank you very much.